Hulk smash!
You know, I almost want to take my Game Boy and smash it up. I've been playing the Incredible Hulk on my Game Boy Advance, and I got to tell you, very disappointed. Very disappointed. They have an awesome license here. The Hulk, as we all know, is a rampaging monster superhero guy. He can do all kinds of damage to all kinds of stuff. And what they've done for this game is they've gone an isometric pseudo 3D viewpoint. So you got the camera pulled way back. So your big monster Hulk is actually a little tiny green sprite that runs around. Because you're looking at the game from overhead, trying to get your control bearings all down properly, very difficult. So there's all kinds of these stupid collision problems. You run up to a barrel to try to pick it up and you're bumping it out of the way. It's like you're stumbling around and it's like you're blind Hulk or something, and you want to beat up on bad guys, but they're sort of just bouncing back for no reason, or you're pushing chairs and tables out of your way. So there's about 30 different levels in the game, but they all look very, very similar. So it gets very repetitive very quickly. The bad guys have terrible AI too. They just stand around. There's really no challenge there except that they just pop out of thin air and they keep coming at you. Don't you love bad guys like that in video games? One thing I really did enjoy were the cutscenes in the game. They actually use like comic book panels, and they have all of this really cool stylistic comic book art that looks like it's been torn from pages from comics that are 20 years old or something. That stuff is really nice. The music and the audio effects in the game are very, very subpar. This, they tried to do something cool by giving you a multiplayer game in there where you could play as different colored Hulks and go battling against each other. And there are a bunch of different sort of moves that you've got. You can charge into bad guys, and a big super smash kind of graphic will pop up, sort of comic book style. That stuff's all kind of nice. It's just that this game could have been so much more. The Incredible Hulk gets an incredibly non-hulking 4.5. All right, we're back. We're still talking about games based on summer blockbusters. This time, it's X2 Wolverine's Revenge from Activision. It's for the PS2, but also out on the GameCube and Xbox. What'd you think of this one?
Well, one of the problems I had was the artificial intelligence on the guys you fight. I mean, there were times where I would just like run around guys, they wouldn't do anything, and I'd be standing right behind them, and other guys are just looking at me, and I'm killing everyone.
It's true. You'll be walking through as Wolverine, sort of sneaking by, and you'll see guys like pointing their gun, looking in the absolute opposite direction. You'll walk right up behind a guy and just go whoosh, and then he'll wake up and start to try to attack you.
Well, wait, that's the other problem I have, though. You got the Wolverine claws, right?
Right.
And then you could go up behind a guy and go whoosh.
Yes.
But it doesn't kill him. It's like, wait a second, it's supposed to be the hardest metal in the universe kind of thing.
What they should have done is made the AI tougher and made the guys a little bit weaker.
Now, did the animation on Wolverine seem a bit stiff to you? Or clunky? What was going on?
Well, it's definitely not a state-of-the-art looking video game at all. The characters all look a little bit too blocky for my liking. The textures aren't that great in the game. There is some sort of a cartoony, comic booky kind of look to everything.
Comic booky,
but it's not as slick or as polished as the Spider-Man game. You gotta call your comic.
I gotta call my comic bookie. I gotta put a bet on the
Hulk versus Spider-Man.
I
did like some of the close-ups during some of the cut sequences and stuff. I mean, you get the snarl in Wolverine's face.
Yeah, cinematics and cut scenes were good.
Hey, birthday boy, I brought you a present. Sorry, I didn't get time to gift wrap it.
You know, another bothersome part of the game, though, getting back to the negatives, is the save point stuff.
Right.
Was brutal.
This is one of those games where if you don't get through the entire level, you have to start at the beginning when you die.
And as the game progresses, these levels start to get longer and longer, and the save points are longer and longer.
There's two other things in the design that sort of artificially lengthen the game as well. You can recharge your power, because Wolverine has the power to...
Your health meter.
Yeah, to regenerate and heal himself.
Well, I cheat. It's not called cheating. I take advantage of the system, as they would say. So, for example, if I beat up a guy and my health gets low, I just sit there and wait.
Yeah.
I sit there for 100%, then I take out the next guy, then you stop, you wait till your bar goes up, come around the corner, get the next guy.
It's not fun watching this guy play, let me tell you. The other thing that slows down the pace, too, is you have stealth moments where Wolverine starts sort of walking a little bit slower.
You can see heat on
the
footsteps.
heat all over the place.
You have these finishing moves. as well that you can collect throughout the game.
Right. I didn't actually like the physical sort of tactile response in the fighting either. I thought that there was a little bit of hesitation on every button press. You know, it's just not as fun to fight as it should be in a Wolverine game.
I really like the fact that they got Mark Hamill and Patrick Stewart to do the original voiceover.
I was
for this
happy
game.
to see Patrick Stewart. He's from the movie, obviously. He's playing Professor X. That's cool.
Another great
Mark Hamill as Wolverine.
Colossus, old bud. What are you doing here? Sure you waiting for a bus?
I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10.
I give it a 7. On the positive side, you get original voice acting by Patrick Stewart and Mark Hamill, and some of the finishing moves are really cool.
On the negative side, the fighting in this Wolverine game just isn't as tactile and satisfying as you want it to be. The AI on the bad guys is ridiculous, and overall the game just looks really bland, especially when you compare it to Spider-Man. Say you are Wolverine and you want to play your PlayStation 2 games, but your claws keep cutting the cord on your PlayStation 2 controller. We've got something to help you out there, Wolverine. This one's called the Logitech Cordless Controller for the PlayStation 2, and it's similar in design, look, and feel to the Xbox Cordless Controller that Logitech has put out and we've reviewed on this show.
You know why it's great that this controller is wireless?
Why?
Because it's shaped like a boomerang. So if you're playing and you get really mad, you go, boom, and then you can still play.
You definitely are going to feel the quality in this thing. It's also very ruggedly designed, so when you are using it as a boomerang, you're not going to have to worry about it hitting the walls.
Well, if it does, you're going to put a heck of a dent in there.
Yeah, not only is it larger, but it's also quite a bit heavier. I actually dropped it on my foot, and I didn't have a shoe on, and I was in pain. The other thing about this controller is that it's not cheap. It's going to run you about $60.
60 bucks?
Yes, I know. Hold on to your hats. So you're going to recommend the cordless controller?
You know, I'm not.
Okay.
So there. I want them to make a PlayStation 2 controller wireless that's exactly like the PlayStation 2 controller.
Performance is excellent, but I can't recommend this one either.
Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Give us what we want.
On the positive side, the performance of the Logitech Cordless Controller is excellent. You can be playing games from miles away. The button layout is great, and the feel of the controller is very sturdy and tough. It's going to take some abuse, and it'll work really well as a boomerang.
On the negative side, you need really big hands for this controller. You know what they say about people with big hands? Big gloves. It's extremely heavy, so when you drop it on your buddy's foot, he's going to be in some pain.
Stick around. We're going to be right back with a look at the new Hulk game.